Welcome to the Building a Binder activity. For this activity, you're going to need a few of the materials that I've sent you. Number one, of course, the binder. The second of which, the big tab 2-pocket insertable dividers. Show you how to use those in a moment. Your highlighters, your pencils, and your pens, the 3-hole punch, and then your copy of A Parent's Guide to the Middle School Years. Pages 64 and 65 are dedicated specifically to this activity. So if you don't feel like the video is giving you everything you need, go ahead and read those 2 pages. That should do it for you. All right, let's get right into this. It's a quick activity. Go ahead and pop the rings open. I like this tab on the bottom. It opens and closes. That way you don't have to put extra stress on the rings. I went ahead and I took my dividers out of the package, this package. They fit very easily over the 3 holes. The reason again that I chose these, they have the 2, my finger's in there, the 2 pockets. Why the 2? Front side is for things that need to go home, papers that need to be signed, potentially papers that need to be filed. The back side of each folder are for papers that are going back to school. Back side, back to school. Makes sense, right? So each divider represents a separate class. There are 8 dividers, so that gives you the potential of 9 sections. Don't know anybody who has 9 classes, but you may need a couple of extra just in case one were to break. They're pretty heavy duty though, so I wouldn't worry about it. But it gives you the option to add on, okay? You can also put a section for extracurricular activities, something that maybe is a club that's happening in the after school hours. So there you go. Each section, they are of course color coded. I like to take these tab dividers, they fold in half, write the name of each class, and then they slip quite easily into these tabs at the top. That helps me to know, which class I'm looking at, but for the most part it's first period, second period, third period, or 0 period, first period, second period, all the way through the end of the day. That is the binder as far as the setup is concerned with the tab dividers. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot. You want to have your college rule. This is loose leaf paper. It's also considered to be filler paper, essentially what it is. Paper that already has the lines on it, that has the holes in it. Go ahead and take half of this, just half, because you want to keep the other half at home, and put that at the very end of the binder, past all the dividers. Take half of this, slip it right in there. That way you have some paper the first couple of weeks of school. When the teachers say, pull out a piece of paper, you've got it. Try not to rip it out of the rings. Remember the tab, take it out, because that piece of paper may need to go back into the binder. If it has ripped holes, of course you're not going to be able to do that. Which brings us to the 3-hole punch. Okay, we're going to come back to the binder in just a second. So 3-hole punch. Why? The majority of the papers you get from your teachers will have already been punched. Nice. Slip them into the binder, good to go. But you may get back lab assignments in science, you may get back the long-term projects, you may just get homework or handouts that don't have the 3-hole punch. This is of course not going to go to school with you, but you can take the papers, put them in the front pocket of the divider, in the binder, bringing it home. It's a quick, easy, they're already set, whoop, there it is. Just push it all the way in, the tabs are already set in the back, and into the binder. That quick, that simple. So that is your 3-hole punch. I got you the heavy duty one because this is something that is going to last and you're going to need it from now through the end of high school. A worthwhile investment. Much better than the small flimsy 99-cent. You don't want any part of that. Okay, what are you going to do with these? Again, take a few highlighters, maybe your favorite colors. Put those in the little sleeve here on the binder. Just stick them right in there. That way they're easily accessible. You don't have to reach into the backpack every time. 2 or 3 pens, not the entire box, because you're going to have things falling out all over the place. And again, 2 or 3 pencils. Please sharpen your pencils. There is absolutely no use for an unsharpened pencil. What's the point? What is the point? Okay? And I don't mean that as a pun. Simply no use for an unsharpened pencil. So sharpen them all. Put a few of them in here. Okay? Stick a few of them in the backpack. That way you have them easily accessible. You don't have to borrow from somebody the first week of school. But there you go. You're going to use these highlighters the first week of school because chances are every teacher that you go to is going to have a syllabus or an outline of what's important in the class. You're going to want to highlight the things that you don't want to forget. when the exams are, how to get a hold of the teacher after hours, how much the homework assignments are worth, how much the tests are worth. Those are important, okay? So take a couple of highlighters with you to school. All right, now one last bit on the binder. Something that I found quite helpful when coaching kids who are moving into middle school. Okay, typically in elementary school, you don't really need a binder. Sometimes you'll have one, sometimes you won't. Here's the idea. Okay, so first period class. Paper comes from the teacher, says put it in the binder, or you're taking notes, whatever. Put it in the binder. You're going to need this for later. Key phrase, you're going to need this later. Go ahead and put that, I almost went for the rings, the tab, in to the binder, right? The next time you get something though, flip the page over. Do a little demo with this. So you've taken the first page, it's in there, you closed it over. Next time something comes to you, instead of putting it on top of this paper, turn the paper across the rings, open it up, new paper goes here. Why? Because then the first paper in your binder is the one from the very beginning. This is important because at the end of the quarter or the semester, when you have that exam, that test, and the teacher says you're going to need to have studied everything since the beginning of school. Now you have a nice collection of all the papers in order from day one. You don't have to take them from the opposite direction and reshuffle, and it gets messy. So the rule is every new paper goes behind the last one. That way you have from the very first day to the very last day. Makes studying a whole lot easier. Remember that this binder is the secure means of transport for your work from home to school, from school to home. Okay, this is it. Take care of it. Try not to step on it. Try not to throw it. Okay, it will last, I'm guessing 6 months, unless you really give it a stomping. But this is it, folks. This is the key to staying organized, to keeping those papers in line. A very important piece of this essential school starter kit. That is the binder activity. I will see you in the next activity.